Hello, welcome back. Playing another round of this, making my slow and steady progress to whatever the max ascension is. I assume it's 15. Last one there. Getting more XP seems really OP. Anyways, I've just been playing the character that has like the lowest marker on them. And what does this do? Every third shot, throw out a wave of fire that burns enemies. But I already did SMGs with this character. But, I mean, that's the lowest one, so I guess I may as well just do it again. Reduce upgrade choices by 1. Oh, okay, that'll actually make it a lot harder. So far, I've been feeling like this game is not, like, all that difficult. But reducing the, whoa, thing happened there. Reducing the number of upgrade options you get will make it significantly more difficult, I think. Hopefully. I mean, not that I get tired of winning or anything like that, but... Oh, wait, but there's 5 upgrades, so it's actually not that hard. I don't know why, but I was like, oh yeah, there's only 2 upgrades, so that'll make it hard, but no. Yeah, that's, I mean, it'll make it a little more challenging, but not really that much. Like, usually most of the upgrades are not relevant, so removing one of them is usually not going to make a difference. Double shot. Burn. I could do a summon build. There's not really a point of doing a summon build with this character, though. May as well take Pyro Mage, I guess. I feel like every character right now just, like, eventually is either, like, elemental synergy, so overload and, like, freeze and shatter. And if it's not, it's just like a raw damage build. So, the game just doesn't really have that much build variety. Like, you can do random stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't really see the point of just doing a random build for no reason. Because it's not really going to be fun. Like, the fun build will be like playing it on a character that it synergizes with so that you actually get like kind of strong, or at least, you know, something interesting can happen. Fire starter. We're already building towards overload again. Whatever. That's fine. Maybe it'll get to the point where I just don't really need to think about what I'm doing, and I can actually talk a little bit while I play. I feel like the only game I play where I actually kind of try to do dialogue, or, you know, just like banter or whatever, is Elden Ring, because most of the time you don't really need to think about what you're doing in that game. Just like running around, and occasionally you fight something, and maybe then you pause the chatter just to like focus on the boss. But the time to kill in that game is also pretty low, so for you, not for the bosses. But, you know, if you die, you usually die very quickly. So, anyways, make me faster, please. Trying to think if there's any interesting news I've seen recently that I haven't already talked about. There's obviously like the stuff going on with like the Supreme Court, which is crazy, like all the abortion ruling stuff. Very big change, you know? Like, you have these, you have like these rights, and I think maybe people take them for granted, or no, I guess that's not one people take for granted, but it's I don't know, I'm just surprised that they ruled the way they did, because it's such a huge change, you know. crazy. I've been reading like New York Times articles and stuff about it. I mean, I think it's one of those things people feel very strongly about, you know, abortion, that is. And so, like, whenever you talk to people about it, you just get like their take on it, you know, like you get their very, very strong opinion on it. But you rarely see like the type of thing that I've been reading in the New York Times, where it's like a very objective and like unbiased view of things. And what I mean by that is they like do interviews and stuff with people and like look at data, and at least according to them, it's like, you know, not as clear cut as the people who feel very strongly about it obviously want you to believe that everyone feels very strongly about it the way they do. I think I want bouncing. That would be fun. It'd be fun if my bullets bounced. And I don't have like piercing, so you know, it'll actually benefit. Just because it'll set more stuff on fire. Because like, yeah, if you talk to someone who's like a supporter of abortion rights or like against abortion rights, they're obviously incentivized to have you believe that everyone feels the same way they do, or that like their viewpoint is objectively the right one or whatever. And you know, I have my own stance on soothing warmth. I don't need that. I obviously have my own stance on abortion rights, as I think everyone does. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. I was mostly just wanting to, you know, the New York Times analysis on things is really interesting because they look at it, at least I think it's objective, you know, they look at results from like surveys of people and that sort of thing, and according to them, it's actually like fairly mixed. There's like most people, apparently like most people, if I recall correctly, feel like it should be allowed in most cases, I think it is. Or maybe it's not most cases, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't want to misrepresent it. I don't want to say the wrong thing, because then I'm sure, you know, that could be bad. But it's not, yes, it should always be allowed, or no, it should always be banned type of thing for most people, apparently. I don't remember the exact split they gave, but people favor like a mix of some kind, where it's like allowed in some cases and not others. People, and by people here I'm referring to what they, in the article, they are saying that is like the representative opinion of like the average American, whatever that means. I would guess it's probably just like they surveyed a bunch of people, and that's like what the data showed is like the average opinion, just like weighed across all the people who participate or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, I guess where I'm going with all this is that it's interesting that it's not as polarized as one might expect, given the discussion and like how strongly people who are in one camp versus the other feel about it. So I don't know. We shall see what happens. I'm hoping that people will, and again, like I said, I have my own personal opinion on it, obviously. So I'm hoping that, you know, people who need access to abortion or want access to abortion are able to find it personally. So, you know, as like states and I guess special interest groups and, you know, whatever, start going to court over this, because apparently that's been like the immediate result, is there's just like tons and tons of like court cases being filed now over like details of laws being passed now that it is legal for like states to restrict abortion access. They had what being referred to as like trigger laws, which I believe simply means that like they had laws like essentially ready to be passed, or like passed, that would take effect as soon as the Supreme Court ruled the way it did, because everyone knew how they were going to rule due to the leak that happened. And so now there's like tons of laws, or sorry, lawsuits and stuff challenging either like details about like, oh, I just walked into that guy. Either details about like laws the states are passing, or like asking for clarification on things. Like, I know one thing that's pretty, that I was definitely wondering when I saw the ooh, I just walked into that person. One thing that I was definitely wondering when I saw the results and like the way some of the laws are worded, right? Some of them are very aggressively worded, like I think Texas is the state that has the one that's like, if you assist someone in getting an abortion, any random like citizen can sue you, right? And I think regardless of how you feel about abortion, that seems like really dangerous to me. Like, it seems like they kind of just like legalized vigilantism to some degree. It's like, oh yeah, you can like catch your neighbors doing this thing, and if you do, you can like turn them in for a reward. I don't know. That doesn't seem good to me. Regardless of what it's applied to, you know, like I don't know. It's weird because like people already like turn people in if they're breaking the law. Like when you see someone breaking the law, you can report them. But like there isn't really like a monetary reward for you unless it's like someone who is like wanted for a crime, right? Sometimes you can like receive a reward for helping to provide information or whatever, or that leads to like the capture of someone or something like that. And I think freezing would be nice, so I can get shatter. I don't have overload. I don't have really a lot of AoE damage right now. The fire obviously is AoE damage because it passes through everything, but it's like slow. I don't really like burn in this game because it's like very slow. It's like very slow damage. It takes a while for things to die, and like I want to be able to cut a path through them so I can like get out of here, you know? Anyways, there's been like tons of court cases about these trigger laws that took effect as soon as the Supreme Court made the decision, because there's like things that aren't clear. For example, like the one that's like that lets you sue people if they help someone get abortion. Like, what does that mean if you're like out of state, right? Like, if you help someone drive to another state and then they get an abortion, and then you both go back to that state, is that like against the law? Because like states don't have jurisdiction in other states, right? They can't say you broke the law by getting an abortion in this other state, or I don't know, maybe they can. I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding is that they can't do that, right? Like if you go to another state and do something there that's illegal in the state you come from, but not the state you're currently in, then when you go back, you are not like punished for it. People do this for all kinds of stuff, right? They do this for like very, I don't really think that's going to be usable. I have to move around. They use it for like very, in the past it's been used for like various things, right? Like the most lighthearted, well maybe it's not lighthearted, but like the thing I'm most familiar with people kind of using this for is whenever like fireworks are illegal somewhere, right? They'll like cross state lines and buy the fireworks, because most places, I don't know why they do this, but like in a lot of places it's illegal to buy fireworks or to like sell fireworks, but like it's not illegal to use them. So you can just like go to the next state over, buy the fireworks, bring them back with you, and then use them, even though like there's a law that prohibits you from buying fireworks. I really hate things like that. I mean, those things are so obviously like, it's like a poor tax, you know? It's like, oh, we don't want people using fireworks, but we, like, the people who have money, you know, they can just go to another state and essentially circumvent the law. So it's basically like a poor tax for fireworks, if that's how you're using that, right? And so, like, I feel like that's what this is, too. It's like, they banned abortion, but if the way you can read the law is, oh, it's like only illegal if you do it in the state you're in, it's basically a poor tax on abortion. It's like, well, if you have the money to leave the state, you can still get abortions. But if you don't, well, sorry, I guess you're out of luck. Screw, like, whatever your medical needs or whatever are. Or maybe it's not medically necessary, right? But, like, I don't know. I feel like access to something should not be, like, based on your income like that, you know? And whatever. I'm like who? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not like I'm saying anything all that profound, right? Everyone, I think, is aware of many things that work this way, right? Like, oh my god, there's so many enemies and I just put myself in a really bad spot. Like, a lot of driving laws are basically just like more taxes, right? It's like, oh, speeding tickets are like expensive. Not speeding tickets, sorry. Parking tickets, right, are like an expensive thing to have to pay if you're like an average person. But if you're like really wealthy, you probably don't really care about a parking ticket. So like, a lot of times you can kind of think of a parking ticket as just expensive parking, right? If you make enough money, you don't care about the parking ticket. So it's just parking that costs $200 or whatever parking fee, whatever the fee is for getting a parking ticket, right? And this just feels like a really not good thing to apply to. Scarlet gains 10% fire rate every time she inflicts. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm just gonna have like infinite fire rate then, because I burn every time I fire, and then I have like my bird thing that passes through enemies. I guess I just want to get more ammo then, so I can fire more without reloading, and then get whatever that upgrade is, the one that makes it so that you reload faster for every enemy you kill. This is fun though. It's made my attacks very bursty. I need to not die here. Pay attention. And like I don't know if do people like intentionally make laws like that? You know, I always wonder this is there's like a lot of people who actually just want abortion banned, right? Because they disagree with it. But these laws are not banning abortion, like I said, right? It's all you've done is make it a wealth tax to get an abortion, assuming that's how they're interpreted, right? Like, what I was saying earlier is usually states can't, like, enforce their laws in other states, right? Because that kind of defeats the purpose of, like, leaving it up to the states to make the decision. It's like, if you do something in one state that is legal there, you should not be punished for doing it if you go back to your state where it's illegal. But the way a lot of these, like, going back to what we were talking about before, right? The way a lot of these laws are phrased, it's like, if you help someone get an abortion, you can be sued, and like driving them to another state to get the abortion is definitely helping them, right? So, like, technically you've broken that law because, like, while you were in the state, you helped them leave the state to get the abortion. But it's one of those things that I feel like it's kind of semantics, you know? The way it's phrased is like, they phrase it specifically so that would happen, right? So that it kind of like gets around, it's kind of like worded that way intentionally to make that situation problematic, right? Because the most obvious way to ban abortions would be to just like literally ban them, right? Just say like, oh, it's illegal in our state to get an abortion for any reason, like if you wanted a blanket ban. And that would make it very clear cut. It's like, oh, okay, so like if you leave the state and get an abortion, you're not in violation of the law. But if you are in the state when you get an abortion, then you are. And, you know, the people who help you or whatever, they're not getting the abortion, so they're not, like, going to be in any danger or whatever, or for driving you, but they've intentionally worded it that way so that not only is the person getting the abortion in trouble, in danger, you know, from a lawsuit or whatever. Oh my god, I'm getting blown up. It's also the person who helped them, even though like they went out of state to do it, which again with the I think the simple like obvious phrasing of the law, it wouldn't be a problem. Oh my god, I'm dying. Pay attention. So I'm curious like who I'm sure I could learn this by like doing maybe a bit more reading, but you know, there's only so much time I guess that you can dedicate to all of the crazy awful things going on in the world before just like, I mean, you know, you have to rely on the news sources to summarize or like provide you information in a way that like it's not going to be like a 100% 24-hour job, just like stay informed about things. And that's something that isn't really covered in any of the news sources I read anyways. My damage is quite low. That other boss spawned before I killed the other one. Let's take this. And so I'm curious who is like writing these laws, right? Like, I feel like they're being very clever, and I say clever meaning like, you know, like clever like a fox, not like ooh clever like not like a positive thing, because whoever wrote these laws, I don't think their goal is to like ban abortion. The laws are not really worded in a way that lends itself to that, right? They're worded in a way that makes it so if you have money, you can still get an abortion. And if you don't have money, you're kind of out of luck. So, burn lasts twice as long. Yeah, okay, as if things ever survive for more than like half a second in this game. So to me, it's just like, again, it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of people out there who feel very strongly about it, that it should be banned. And maybe a lot of those people feel like they've won, but that's not what I really see happening. And again, I'm not gonna pretend to be like ultra well informed on this. Like I feel like I've done a reasonable amount of due diligence, you know, like I proofread news and I like try to look stuff up if I'm like really confused about something. But you know, if you're someone who thinks that the ruling the Supreme Court made and the laws being passed in these states will lead to abortion being banned, I think you're just wrong. Like, that's not what happened. It's just they've made it so that it's only for rich people now, basically. You know, if you are somebody who is well off enough to be able to go out of state on your own, then you can just leave the state, get your abortion, and come back. But again, it depends on how it can be interpreted, right? If the way they interpret these laws is like, oh, if you go to another state to get the abortion, then everyone who like helped you along with that process is also now like culpable, then maybe it is like actually supposed to be like a clampdown where they just want to ban abortions completely. But right now it definitely doesn't feel that way. Because like that doesn't even make sense, right? Like let's say you're going to another state because you want to get an abortion and it's illegal in your state. If anyone who helps you, knowingly or not, can be in trouble, even though you were leaving the state to do it, then like if you take a flight, isn't the airline like helping you? You know, even if they don't know it. Like what if you call an Uber, right? Like if the Uber driver sees that you're going to a clinic or something, like say you call an Uber and you live like close to state lines or something. That situation is too hypothetical. I like the airplane one because that one kind of makes sense. Like let's say you buy an airplane ticket to a city that is like the closest city to where you live that has a clinic that will do abortions, right? Is the airline like responsible for aiding you in getting an abortion at that point, even though like maybe they don't know. I have no idea. And my guess is that the way they're gonna rule is that no, they're not. For several reasons. Like one, it would be like ridiculous. Like how on earth are you gonna enforce that, right? Like are they gonna question women every time they like board a plane now and be like, hey, you know, you look like you might be pregnant, or are you going to get an abortion? That would obviously be unacceptable and insane. I didn't eat that or whatever. And like it's just not enforceable. And even if it was, then like it's like, okay, so then you kind of just figured out a way to like enforce your laws in other states where you don't have jurisdiction, which sounds problematic. Like even if you agree with the way it's being applied here, it's going to be abused, right? Like if you do this for abortion, like what stops a state from doing it for, you know, like say for example that you believe in gun rights, but you don't believe in abortion. So you're like, yay, you know, they banned abortion with these like cleverly written laws. What if like they just use the same type of law to ban like purchasing guns in your state, right? Like they just say it's like, oh, you know, you ban assault rifles or whatever. And I know there's like a lot of things you can't do with gun laws, but like say you pass a law that restricts like something you want to do related to purchasing guns, and it punishes people who help you, right? That's like you can just apply the same thing to anything else. And so that just sets like a really bad precedent, in my opinion. It seems dangerous. I don't like it. I think now I can get this glass cannon thing. Because getting just one is not worth it. Like losing half your HP for for 5% is not good. 15% I think is pretty good. And like I don't think it's that bad to be at half HP because like there's a lot of healing and you start with Holy Shield. But yeah, I don't know, it's just crazy. Like I don't understand how they can be passing those laws. It seems dangerous to me. And obviously I just don't agree with the decision myself, as I'm sure you figured out by now, that I would prefer that people that abortion not be banned and that people can make their own decision on that. But I mean, that's not what happened, so you know, you gotta work with what you got, and you know, maybe someday they'll get that changed, but for now that's the way it is. Small enemies deal double damage in the last 5 minutes. That's an oddly specific time frame. I imagine that probably means that later on there's going to be one that's like deal double damage all the time, which is fine. That also means I would just die in one hit, so that would make glass cannon a lot more dangerous. More projectiles, more bullet speed, more movement speed. I like movement speed because I need to be able to navigate, because like if I have to fire very close to me, that's dangerous, so I want to be able to like move around. And I want to use this gun for reals. Like I feel like last time I used it just as a base damage thing for a summon build, which maybe I'll do again, but it would be fun if I could like actually use the grenade. I want to use it with that one character who has the tornado though. That sounds like more fun. What was I saying? Something about XP? Sure. I don't remember, but yeah. I have opinions, as we all do. I think I try to be I try to be self-aware, right? Like I know that I'm not like a legal expert. I'm not like super well educated on all these things, but I try to be, I think, you know, reasonably educated given the amount of time I have to look into stuff. So, given what I know, that's how I feel about things right now. And yeah, I mean, for me, the two biggest things is, like I said, one, I would prefer that it not be restricted, like that abortion access not be restricted. I feel like people have had that right for quite a while now, and it's been something that has really been important to a lot of people. As in, like, if they didn't have it, they would have had like significantly worse outcomes in life. I mean, yeah, again, like, I know people feel very strongly about that. It doesn't really matter what I say, it's not going to convince someone who's already made up their mind, but nor, like I said, nor am I well educated enough to really be able to put together an argument for why my opinion is right. That's just sort of like how I feel about it, given the little I do know. Big shot is good. I need to be careful not to make my explosions too big, though. I remember last time I was actually struggling to move around because of that. Yeah, so that's one of the big ones. It's like, what was it saying? Right, I would prefer that it not be restricted, right? And then, Splinter, T. Hey, do you want to lose the game? Buy Splinter. And, the other thing I'm really worried about is just, like, these ridiculous, like, laws and, like, legal loopholes that people seem to be exploiting. I feel like it's not in the spirit of, like, how this country should work. You know, me, the random who just admitted to knowing very little, over here being like, I don't know, that's just not in the spirit of America. You know, but, that is actually how I feel about it. It's like... Oh, wait. Oh, okay, right. It only causes the explosions if I have Splinter. I was like, did I just kill myself again? Last time I took this gun and tried, actually using the gun, I killed myself because the dagger would, like... The dagger would, spawn, like, mini grenades, and it would make it impossible to, like, move around. Oh, that's useful. Wait, that's really cool. That could enable, like, a lot of interesting builds. The auto reload. You can do, like, that one mini clip upgrade is, like, usually really bad in my opinion because, attack speed. I can go for the summon attack speed. I can also do this. I definitely don't want fanfire. I don't want split fire either, so I can't really get Fusillade. I'm just gonna go for a ghost friend. Yeah, I don't know. I find these, like, legal loopholes that everyone's using to pass these, like, weird laws really concerning. Again, because of, like, the precedents it sets. Like, regardless of how you feel about how it's being applied in this particular instance, right? Like, I think that's the part that makes it hard to discuss, is, like, since it's being used in the context of abortion right now, since people have, like, such strong opinions on that, like, it's just such a like all or nothing like moral thing for a lot of people, that you can't really discuss anything that's going on in the situation at all, because it always ends up turning into, like, a moral dilemma, and that makes it difficult to discuss other aspects of what's going on that are also troubling or problematic, right? So, regardless of how you feel about abortion, I think the laws that are being passed right now to, like, regulate it should be very concerning for people. Like, having laws that are designed to, in my opinion, undermine the autonomy of, like, individual states' ability to make laws, right? So, like, Texas being able to pass a law where people not in Texas or people who leave Texas to do something can now be held responsible by Texas, that's problematic, right? In my opinion. And of course, I'm obviously referring to state laws. You know, obviously, if you break a federal law, then yes, you can be like punished for it anywhere because it's federal law. So yes, I understand at least that much. I think maybe not, but if I don't, I guess you can just correct me in the comments or whatever. Bullet bounce, no thank you. Bullet damage, yes, I would like this. Although I'm not a fan of piercing. Although maybe I need the piercing because those bullets are way too big now. This is good. Oh my god, my bullets might actually get so big that I can't fire my gun. Like, it would be dangerous to fire my gun, that's what I mean by that. Like, I can't shoot close to me anymore. I'll die. Anyways, that's really problematic. The other thing I really, really hate anytime it's done, not just in this context, although I find it especially egregious in this context, is laws that are wealth taxes. And this is a wealth tax. In most of the laws that I've read about that people have passed so far with regards to abortion are wealth taxes. And that, to me, seems unfair, obviously. Like, the laws should apply. The laws should apply. I don't know if the word I would use is like equally or like equitably, right, to everyone, but one thing that I would definitely not consider equal or equitable in almost any case is a law not applying to you because you're wealthy. And whoa, this is very dangerous now. I regret taking that upgrade, even though I thought it would be good. I just need more piercing now so that the bullets like won't explode right next to me. So yeah, it's like, that's neither fair nor equitable. If it were up to me, I would always prefer things be equitable, right? Meaning, I don't think things need to be applied the same in all situations. I think that's when a lot of people say like something is unfair. That's what they're referring to. It's that it's like, oh, it's unfair that this thing applies differently for me than this other person because our treatment was not identical, right? But personally, I don't believe that the best thing for society is for everything to apply identically. I think there's a lot of things in life that are not identical, like people's circumstance, right? A lot of people are born into wealthy families. A lot of people are born into illness or like bad home life or whatever. And given you can't control for that, I think it makes sense that like the positive things in, I guess, like society should also like ideally be like taking that stuff into account, right? Like there should be programs that are specifically to help people who had like worse circumstance or who are disadvantaged. And a lot of people would say that those, like, if your definition of fair is that things apply the same to everyone, then you would say that that is unfair. And I don't think I would disagree with you. Like, I do think that that is what most people mean when they say something is fair or not. It's just whether it applies equally or not, but I just don't, like I said, I don't think that is necessarily what the end goal should always be. Like, sometimes you want things to be unfair. You want, it's like, the circumstances that led to that situation and like the context and everything else surrounding it might not be fair. So why does like why does that have to be? Why does why does only, what is the best way of phrasing that? Like, why are we okay as a society or whatever with negative things being unfair? And by unfair, I mean like applied unequally, right? Like, I think if we're okay with living in a society where there are poor people, which by definition we are, because we live in like a capitalist society, and in a capitalist society there will be winners and losers. So I think if we're okay with that, then we should also be okay with more ammo, more reload rate, no bouncing please. I think since we're okay with that, it also makes sense to be okay with positive things also being applied unequally. Specifically to counteract the negative things that are unequally applied to people. That's my take on it anyways. And yeah, a lot of these laws are doing, you know, given I feel that way, I find it especially upsetting and egregious and unethical when something is applied not only in an unfair way, but also in an unfair way that advantages people who already have good circumstance. That's just like the worst of both worlds. It's like, not only are you acknowledging that you're okay with things not being fair, you're taking advantage of it to help somebody who doesn't need help while purposely ignoring or making things worse for the people who do. I feel like that's like actually just the worst of all worlds. I don't see how you could justify that. But I am making a moral argument there, so I guess, I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. I don't know how to make I don't know how to make like arguments for moral things like that, you know? I guess all I can say is that's how I feel about it. There's probably a way to do something like that. I don't know, like you'd have to prove that it's like true somehow, or like you'd have to prove that like someone's I guess you could try to prove that like someone's beliefs are inconsistent if they're okay with like one thing but not another, or like that holding two beliefs simultaneously would be like inconsistent. But then again, I guess I'm kind of assuming that having like an inconsistent belief system is something problematic, which, I mean, obviously people have figured out a way to live with it since we live in the world we live in today. And I guess I'm getting a little preachy. I'm not a saint myself, so it is interesting. It's fun to talk about though. Like those are, not only are they fun topics to talk about, they're also like important things to talk about, obviously. I just got bumped by a tiny annoying boss mini creature. You know, they're important things to talk about because usually the things this applies to are like, oh my god, I might die here. Oh, that's pretty good. Too bad I haven't been using my shadow clone. I'm actually really afraid that I might kill myself here. Oh my god, this is so scary. Okay, I'm good. The piercing on this bullet is actually kind of annoying, because like... Ah! I almost died. Oh, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Ah! Okay, I got my shield back, I'm good now. I can stop paying attention again. What was I saying? I don't even know. I was getting way too preachy, but that's fine. Nobody, like I said, the nice thing about these videos is it's like just a good opportunity for me to like think about things. I feel like saying them out loud definitely helps. I don't know why. I feel like when I just think things, my thoughts get a little stream of consciousness, a little rambly, but saying them like kind of forces me to at least try to think about them in a more coherent manner, because it's like, even though like no one really watches my videos, right, it's still the way when I talk during the videos, I'm always thinking to myself like, oh, how do I make sure that like if someone were to watch this, they like understand what I mean, or like they know what I'm trying to say, which I'm not very good at, obviously. That's the whole point. That's like why I started making these, is I want to get better at that. So it's really helped Interesting, because it's been like a good way to reflect on things. Yeah, that's probably the best way of putting it. Oh my god, these people are surrounding me! Okay, get away from me. I need to remember to use my clone, because my clone could actually probably easily keep me safe. 10 base damage. That is going to be good. I'm very scared right now. But my clone is strong enough to keep me safe. I just keep forgetting that I have him. I only have 1 HP. I'm not moving until I get my shield back. Oh my god, what a nightmare. How do I have 1 HP? What did I do? I'm like afraid to shoot down into the left because there's so many enemies there that I'm pretty sure I'll just die. Okay, I got my shield. Now I need to bust out of here. This isn't gonna kill me, right? No. Okay, I need to bust out of here. Oh, I lost my shield. Oh, I'm so scared. I completely forgot what I was talking about again. It's so hard to, like, stay alive with this grenade launcher. This gun is dangerous to yourself. It is dangerous to you. I really want to go get that XP, but, like, 1 HP, man. 1 HP. One mistake and you're dead. Okay, now I can do it. I should have picked up more XP earlier, though. Don't want bounce, that'll kill me. Yeah, the Shadow Clone is like my saving grace here. I would have died such a long time ago without it. I'll take that. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about at this point. It's just like too much going on. Stay away from me! Oh my god, what a nightmare! Jesus. Okay, I need to make sure to clear the ads, or that will definitely kill me. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. No! I wish I just need to get my clone in there too. He's gonna punch this boss to death super fast. There we go. Oh my god, that was terrifying. I can't take any more... I can't lose any more HP. I'll die. I'm like so close to dying, it's terrifying. This is actually the most difficult run I've ever had, I think. Which is good. This game, I feel... I've always felt it was a little too easy playing it, so it's nice that it's getting a little more challenging, you know? Oh my god, I just dashed through a bullet again. I'm actually having to pay attention here. And, like, most of my deaths have been, like, me just, like, walking into something because I'm, like, not paying attention at all, because the game gets, like, it gets a little boring sometimes. It's a little too easy. Dang, I don't remember what I was talking about at all. Let's see. I was complaining about how a lot of these laws that are being passed to me sound like a wealth tax, and I hate wealth taxes. They're not fair in the worst way possible, because there's a lot of research out there on wealth, and it's mostly generational. Like, people who are born wealthy are likely to stay wealthy. People who are born poor are much more likely to stay poor because social mobility is hard. Nice. This is a good one. I really needed this a long time ago, because now I can just like dash through things and that'll help keep me alive. Right? Yeah. I want more HP. I need more HP. So yeah, that is my unsolicited take on why all these like laws being passed are problematic and why I don't like them. And hopefully they will be challenged and made, I don't know what the term is for that, like declared unconstitutional or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, I hope they do that, because yeah. People are always so happy to get like a law they want passed that gave them the outcome they wanted, and I feel like people a lot of times don't think about like the implications of what they've done. Right? Like, I think if I remember correctly, there was some article that came out when like Obama was president about Obama like really expanded the powers that the president had. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember reading about it. It was like he was doing things. I think it was with the healthcare laws, right? It was like with Obamacare. He like really expanded the powers. How I think I just shot myself. Like how you could use, how he was using presidential powers was like an expansion of how they were usually used. And oh god, many people, myself included, were really happy with the fact that, you know, they were able to use that to get a lot of healthcare related laws passed that otherwise, I don't know if it was laws, again, I'm not a legal expert, but, you know, as a result of them expanding presidential powers or whatever, or like expanding how they use them, setting like a precedent for it, they were able to do things they otherwise would not have been able to do, which I wanted done, right? And I don't think I had this viewpoint back then. Like, I was definitely much younger then. I was like in college or whatever. I think I was in college. And you know, the outcome of that was, I'm in attack speed, bullet damage. I don't want to lose bullet damage. I'm really enjoying shooting my giant grenades. And the outcome of that was, you know, yay, we got these laws or whatever passed that let us create Obamacare. Awesome. But a lot of the stuff Trump was able to do was because of the precedent that was set by a lot of the stuff that was done then, right? Like, I don't know if everyone was like more well informed about this sort of thing, I don't know if like the outcome would have been different. But I definitely did not know or think about that stuff at the time. Wow, I'm level 43. Heck. I do think this is mostly due to the upgrade that I've been taking that gives me extra XP. Now that that's maxed out, I think I'll be able to compare sort of like the EXP harvesting rate of builds more correctly. I do think that's a good measure of like how good a build is like how high a level it can get. Because obviously upgrades are what determine your strength in this game. The game's over, so may as well take that. And so the more upgrades you can get, the more powerful you'll be. Anyways, I definitely did not think about that back then, right? When they used these like whatever, these presidential powers, they used them in ways they hadn't been used before to pass these laws. It did not occur to me that this would backfire years later when Trump came into office and started passing laws that I strongly disagreed with, or like enacting policy that I strongly disagreed with. It's the same thing here. Now, I think people are going to... It's weird, it says rank 15 plus. I guess 15 plus includes 15, so you only actually need 14 points for this row. Every 50 kills, your gun enters the ethereal state. Does not consume ammo. Infinite piercing, extra 20 damage every 3 shots. I mean, that's pretty good. Like, flat 20% increase every 3 bullets, and infinite piercing. I guess for some builds that's not good. Like, you don't always want piercing. But yeah, like I said, I think that's what's going on here. These laws that are being passed now, a lot of people are really excited for them because they're like, yeah, we're getting our way. We're getting these, like, we're banning abortion or whatever, except not really because it's just a wealth tax from what I've seen. And you know, down the road, somebody might do the same thing. They might pass a law that's phrased the exact same way that is taking away something that you really care about or enforcing something that you disagree with in a way that is not really good, and then no one's going to be happy. So there's like several layers to this, right? There's like the abortion ruling itself, which everyone has strong opinions on for the most part. Although apparently not, based on the New York Times research. Apparently some people have very nuanced opinions on it, actually. So there's that layer, and then on like the subtext to that is, of course, all of these laws being passed and how they're written is problematic, in my opinion, for everyone, regardless of where they stand on abortion. And then another layer around that is, even if these laws weren't problematic, not all of them are good laws, in my opinion, because many of them are not actual bans. They're just wealth taxes. They're just laws that prevent you from doing something if you don't have the money to get around the law. If you're not well connected enough to get around the law. That's just a bunch of BS. So, obviously there's a ton of very well-educated people on both sides of this. So, I mean, I guess it'll get figured out. Hopefully for the better. It's kind of scary, right? Because, like, people who are well-educated about this are writing these bad laws. At least I think they're bad. Obviously, they must think they're good. Otherwise, I hope that they think they're good. Like, can you imagine if they're passing these laws and they know, like, they themselves think what they're doing is wrong and bad, and they're doing it anyways? My God, what a nightmare that would be. That would be like some late-stage dystopian capitalism nonsense, like cyberpunk 2070 shit going on. So I mean, I at least hope that the people doing this think they're doing it for the right reasons. Does that even matter? I don't know. And maybe the reason I feel that way is because if they do feel that what they're doing is for the right reasons, you can, like, talk to them, right? You can reason with someone who thinks their behavior is, you can reason with someone who is trying to be a good actor, right? If someone's doing something wrong or that you think is wrong, but they're at least trying, in their perspective, they're not doing something they think is wrong. They just think that that's the correct decision. You can reason with people like that. You know, you can have discussions and come to an agreement. You can convince each other. You can come to a middle ground, even if you disagree ultimately. But if you're dealing with someone who is like, who knows their behavior is bad, but is doing it anyways, how do you reason with someone like that? Like, you're not going to convince them to stop because they already know it's bad. They just don't care, or they care about something else more, so they're willing to do it anyways. That's scary. You can't reason with people like that. And like I said, there's very educated people on both sides, right? The people writing these laws are obviously very intelligent, because I don't know if maybe there's laws that have been written like this in the past, but I've never heard of one. And, you know, they had to come up with that way of writing the law so that it has these, like, properties that I've mentioned that I think are problematic. And there's obviously people on the other side as well who understand what's happening, who are very intelligent as well, and hopefully are fighting against it. But I guess ultimately, I mean, that's the way the democracy works, right? There's going to be bad actors. At least I consider them bad actors. Again, I always caveat the things I say, which is maybe a little unnecessary. It's like me being like, here's my opinion, and I acknowledge that my opinion may be incorrect, and I'm not perfect, and I don't know everything about everything. You know, it's kind of silly. It makes me feel a little silly, but I do feel like I should do that. Like it makes me feel honest to be honest about it. So, tautological statement is tautological. Anyways, thanks for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on some of these things. I guess just please be nice to me. Don't. Well, I've just cursed myself by saying that. I do want to hear people's thoughts, and like I said, I know that abortion and these things going on right now are extremely politically charged, but I do think people can engage in respectful discussion about things even if they have very strong opinions about it. And I would love to hear other people's opinions. Like I said, I am always trying to like learn and see new perspectives and that sort of thing, especially about these things that I'm saying I don't completely understand, right? Like, how is it that states can pass laws like this? How can they be enforced? What is the deal with, like, the precedent it sets? I'd love to see what other people think about that, and even better, like, if you have sources that you can link in the comments, I'd love to take a look. Yeah, I mean, I am kind of picky with my news sources. I'm just gonna say that up front. Like, if you're linking me like some Breitbart article, I'm probably not gonna read it. But you know, I try to be a skeptical consumer of information, and so even if it's coming from a source I don't necessarily agree with, as long as it's not like a very well-known biased news source, I will probably look at it. Anyways, I'm continuing to talk even though I already did my outro, so I'll do it again. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah, that whole spiel. I would love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.